You can become interested in a game in a lot of different ways. I'll admit I didn't play The Witcher 3 until Geralt came as a collaboration skin to Fortnite, and never ended up playing Skyrim until it was available in portable form all the way back on the original GPD Win handheld PC. Speaking of, today's Steam Deck video is going to cover Atomic Heart, and I'm sure many of you people heard about and wanted to play the game because of one particular boss fight cutscene that was going around social media at the time. You know the one. But anyways, let's dive right into it. Here is how I've gotten Atomic Heart to run on the original Steam Deck. As a quick summary, Atomic Heart is a third-person shooter in an alternate future version of the Soviet Union during a robotic uprising. You play as a World War II veteran that has to move around and find the ones responsible for the uprising and put an end to it. Also, there are upgrade machines that erotically flirt with you for some reason. But moving on, thankfully this game runs pretty well on the Steam Deck, so you don't need to activate a Proton layer for compatibility. You can pretty much just boot it up and go, though for the first few sessions you will have to wait a few minutes on the main menu as it applies shaders. This is something that happens on the PC version in general, regardless of SteamOS or Windows. It's also worth noting that the demo and full versions of the game are different on SteamOS in terms of graphical settings. I mentioned in my Bazite Legion Go review that Atomic Heart didn't allow you to modify settings on Bazite and SteamOS, but that only applies to the demo. The full game of Atomic Heart does allow you to modify pretty much whatever you want. Performance isn't perfect though, as you will find a good bit into the game. When you first begin, you can keep the settings on medium or balanced and be fine for the most part. It'll stick up at 60 FPS, dipping into the 50s here and there during some parts of the initial bunker you trek through for the first few hours of the game. These dips are mostly from transitioning from one room to the next or a scripted event taking place that uses a lot of effects. I tested around with the settings a lot here, and you can't get a constant 60 FPS as the drops will happen regardless, though they do happen less often with lower settings. It's when you get outside that the real test begins. Once you can go into the open world, you get a lot more frame drops. If you use balanced or medium settings, the outside areas will average in the 40s and 50s, jumping around quite a lot. It gets close to the 30s even just in the initial outside area when you're trying to hack the tower to gain access to the driving portion. I would drop most of the settings down to low once you reach this point. You can keep anti-aliasing turned on to make it still look good, but if you want to keep it above 40 FPS, I would put most settings on the lower end of things and lock the Steam Deck down to 40 FPS. Though if you'd rather use medium or balanced settings, you could lock the Steam Deck down to 30 FPS to have a consistent frame rate that's not as fluid as 40 but still look better. And that's all I have for performance, so with battery life, you can expect to get 2 hours out of the original Steam Deck while playing this game. And as things wrap up, I would definitely recommend this game to Steam Deck users. It plays close to 60 FPS for a lot of the game and will not give you issues even in the open world segments if you lock the deck down to 40 with balanced or low settings. And that's all I have for you today. I'll be back soon with more handheld PC performance and reviews. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.